This is episode 149 of Play PSVR 2, the podcast, and maybe the podcast the people have been waiting for all year. First off, introductions. We don't need them. I got my guy, Do-Rag Alex. I said right before we went live, you look good. No homo.
You you didn't say you look good. You said you look good in a do-rag.
Well, that's what I mean. You look. Yeah. Just
Okay.
take the compliment because you never know when you're going to get another one. It might be a while. Alex, I first, both to you and the listeners, I need to apologize potentially that I am watching my parents' cat. She's bonkers. You never know what she's going to do. If you hear some rustling around, you see a cat come up here and she's been chewing on the power cord, have a little, forgiveness here. I don't think a cat is the way I really want to go for a pet, but I was thinking about a dog. Alex, you have a what, rabbit?
I have a rabbit, yeah. I had dogs growing up, but I have a rabbit now.
What type of dogs did you have?
Boston Terrier. Screwing you crap up. I had Boston Terriers, and I had like a mutt at one point. I don't know what it was, like Australian sheepdog or something. Why?
Well, I was thinking about getting a Japanese Chihuahua. Have you seen those?
Yeah. No, I haven't. What about it, Adam?
Oh no, they call them a Kanichiwawa. You could look it up on Google. Maydays, folks.
Did you make that up yourself?
What?
Did you make that one up yourself?
It's not bad, right?
That makes it much better. Just knowing that you sitting there smugly thinking of this joke. Yeah.
Come on, that's pretty good.
I like it. I'm laughing. I like it. It was oddly impressed. Yeah.
Pretty good. I mean, it was that or Alex, I struggle with all of these different sexual identities, right? I don't get it. I don't let's like a man or a woman, dude, or instead people like objects and inanimate objects and concrete. It's really weird. But what do you call a gender neutral person, which I don't even know what that means, who's lactose intolerant?
Oh man, we're gonna have to edit this out. What do you call them?
They are non-binary. That's good. You can't deny me. That's good. And
did you make that one up?
May days. 31 straight days in May, 31 straight streams. We're playing a new PSVR 2 game every day. Dude, it's been good. Alex was on family vacation for like the first, 27 days. So I streamed the first 2 weeks back to back to back. Matty Matt, J-Brat, Chaos, Chicago Game Cat. All these guys came up clutch when I wasn't feeling it. They were there for me. We're going to go through some of the games we played, talk about the surprises, talk about some things we were disappointed in. Then Alex comes in. We played some multiplayer. He's played some single-player games that he bought, 8 months ago. Finally, just like a child, they had been birthed into his eyes and his system to actually get played. It's a magical time of the year, Alex.
Yeah, I just love it because I have to force myself to play a game every night because I'm a man of integrity. And when I say I'm going to play VR every night, I'm going to play VR every night. And now I'm finally actually playing some of these games. So no, it's always exhausting, right? Every night you got to do that, but it's also fruitful. You get to enjoy old games again. You get to enjoy new games for the first time, and everybody's watching you enjoy it too, which makes it even better.
Yeah, no doubt. Before we hop into it, as always, my gamer juice is, I meant to bring the box up. I don't think I did. It's this Canada Dry water mix. I love ginger ale. You would think this is pretty disgusting. This is actually really good. It tastes just like ginger ale, but it doesn't have that burning sensation, which I thought that came from the ginger, but maybe it comes from the carbonation. I don't know what causes that, but that's the only thing it's missing. It's
That's my
really
favorite
good.
part of the ginger ale.
Huh?
That's my favorite part of the ginger ale. So it's like, let's just take the good part of ginger ale out and turn it into soda water.
I mean, I like the taste of ginger ale, so I don't mind it. You are right. It's not as good as raw ginger ale because it doesn't have the burning, but it's much better than I thought it would be. So I'm
Oh,
still pretty
I
pleased.
thought you were saying it was. I thought you were saying it was better because it didn't have the burning. But okay, no,
No,
that
no,
does
no.
sound. So is it like the little packets you pour in there?
Yep, sure is.
Oh, that's not. I feel like that's not a real gamer juice. Mine is clear American sweetened strawberry water.
Dude, that's a real gamer juice. Up yours. I hope that sucks just out of spite.
It's supposed to be a strawberry flavored soda water. It is
Strawberry.
surprisingly sweet, although it's zero sugar, zero everything.
Dude, there's
It's
aspartame in that. Check it.
but
Read the nutrition
it tastes
label.
like strawberries though. It's ingredients: carbonated water. Thank you very much. Aspartame,
I knew it. I should
and
have
then
done a bean bet. I don't think you would have taken it, but
acesulfame potassium. Maybe it's the potassium in there doing it.
oh, could be. Okay, Alex. I'm not sure the best way to skin this cat. I'm gonna do first of all the Powerade play of the week. There is a game. Let's do it this way. I have broken out the first list of all the games that I played in the first 14, 15 days, however many here it is. One of these games, it's good. It's good. And it caught me, I guess, by surprise. I was like, man, I need more of this in my life. Take a guess. So, for those who are listening, I played MADiSON VR, Vertrix Worlds, Light Brigade, Puzzling Places, Runner, Townsman VR demo, VR Skaters, Sea Smash, Synth Riders, Star Wars demo, Legendary Tales, Tennis on Court, Tetris Effect, and Synapse. So those are the games I'm talking about. One of those, as I mentioned, Alex, really kind of rocked my world, felt real good. Which one? Dang, I don't have any beans up here. We should do a bean bet.
I have a bean, but yeah. This is tough, Adam, because it'd be too obvious if it was MADiSON VR, because that's like the new game that came out. You just said it took you by surprise. Now, does that mean it's a game you hadn't played before, you're playing for the first time, or does that mean it's a game you didn't remember being that good and it taking you by surprise in that way? I know it's not the Star Wars Tales of the Galaxy demo. It's not going to be Legendary Tales because you wouldn't admit that. Same for Tetris Effect.
No,
I think
also
what I'm picking up is Vertrix, maybe, or Townsman VR. Those are the two maybe surprises. Then the other one is Light Brigade, as if you came back to Light Brigade and was like, oh, I don't remember this being that good. I think I'm going to have to pick. Yeah, Townsman VR is a demo. I would have known if you bought it by now because you wouldn't shut up about how much money you spent on it. I'm going with Vertrix.
Vertrix World was interesting, but no, it's Townsman VR.
Really?
The demo effed me up. It was so fun. It was so like clever and intriguing and intuitive and fun. I had a good effing time.
Really?
That's what a demo does. It's been out since the launch of PSVR 2. I've never even looked at it. Never.
Yeah, what does this game even look like?
I was never even interested in this. I played that demo within 15 minutes. I was like, F this, I'm buying this hoe. No, I haven't bought it yet because if I've waited this long to wait for a sale. But here's the thing.
Hold on. Can we just appreciate you saying, oh, this game, it's so good. I gotta have it, but I'm not gonna buy it.
Hey, wait. I'm going to do all of the developers out there a favor. Here is the guaranteed path of victory, assuming your game is playable and actually good. You slap on a demo, then you add on at the same time period a 5% discount. That's all it's going to take, and I would have bought the game already. I can't have waited how long PSVR 2's been out, not quite a year and a half, right? But I can't wait that long and then buy a game full price when it was a launch title. I gotta have 5% discount though. I know it's a minuscule amount. It's like $3. I don't even care. I would have bought it. So that's what you need to do. That's how you're gonna get success. Alex, this game is so fun because one, I like small miniature things. It almost is like ActRaiser in a way where you kind of play like this god and you have these little people and there's little animals and little boats and little houses and you could pick up the deer and you can pick up the dog and throw him into the ocean. Eventually he'll come back. That is just so fun. And you get thrown. So you're this god trying to help these humans build a civilization and ultimately get off the island. And you go to different islands. Each one of them have their own gimmick, of course, on who is going to try to attack you or what resources do you need to leverage more than others. But it's not a fast-paced game by any means. You set your stuff up, and then you may sit there for 3 minutes while they're working and bringing wood and moving stone and building, right? But just sitting there watching them, and it's almost like a Zen moment. You can just sit, relax. It's good. Like within 15 minutes, I was like, yeah, I'm buying this. It's my next game. I want to play it. And dare I say, without having obviously played it, I think it might be a top 10 game. I think this could move Pavlov. It's definitely going to be better than VR Skater. It's going to be tough because you're going to probably fight for Ultra Wings, but I think it's better than Ultra Wings. It might. I mean, Rez is on there because our soul. It's right now. It's probably going to be more fun than Rez. You need to play the demo. You're going to buy it.
Yeah.
If you haven't already
stolen it. If you hadn't stolen it for Maydays, I might have done it for Maydays, but no. Had you not stolen it for Maydays, we wouldn't have heard about it. Now, is this game like Lemmings where they have to like go somewhere and you have to guide them how to get there? Or is this just like building a town? Like, what's the goal? Is somebody attacking your town or something?
That happens. It's not quite Lemmings. I grab a person and I can just drop them by a tree and they know, okay, I need to start chopping wood. And then they'll get the wood and they know by themselves, I need to take it to the woodshed. And then they start building boards and then the boards can build a bigger townhouse and then we'll make more people. Dude, seriously, it's like ActRaiser. It's exactly what you did and for those who don't know, ActRaiser was a game, NES?
SNES.
Super Nintendo. Back in the day, Alex and I played a while, I guess back in, that's been a while, 8 years? Something like that?
Something like that,
It's been a while, but it was a really good game that caught me off guard. But that had some side-scrolling action to it. Obviously, Townsman VR doesn't. I was astonished how good this game was.
That's exciting. It wasn't resonating with me until you mentioned that thing of and then you just sit back and you watch them, right? Like that is a relaxing experience. I can't remember, there was a VR game. Humanity kind of does it a bit, right? Like it's really satisfying. Yeah. You almost don't want to fast forward. It's really satisfying to watch your people just walk through the path and get to the end. Yeah. There was a couple other games on PSVR 1 that gave me that feeling, and I think it was special to VR. Like it's kind of satisfying to do that in a non-VR game, but when you're really immersed in that satisfaction, I could see that being a really fun game. Adam, one important thing about this game, do you know who the developers of this game are?
I don't remember.
Handy Games. Do you know what Handy Games' previous VR game was?
I remember making the jokes about Handy, but I don't remember.
This is the fine folks that brought you Stunt Kite Masters VR.
Wow, no way.
Yeah.
Wow. That's wild. Well, touche to them. Like I said, the first, and what sucks is Matt told me not long ago, literally maybe the week before I played it, it was on sale. Again, it's not a dramatic sale, but any sale, I'm buying this game. This is my number one game to buy. I know there was that one game that is you said it almost looked like Kingdom Hearts or something. I don't know.
Soul Covenant, yeah.
Yeah, that looks good, but Townsman VR, has that demo, it's got me hooked. So
If Soul Covenant had a demo, we'd probably be playing it now.
exactly. Like, why have demos, guys? Then quickly, I do want you to talk a little bit about your games. The in that first bundle there, Sea Smash is always real fun. Star Wars Tales of the Galaxy, horrendous game. That was the worst demo I've ever played. So that is, I guess, the risk of having a demo. If you put so little effort in it and it's clear you don't care and you're just trying to live and sell people a product based on its intellectual property, you're going to fail. Because I mean, the game was atrocious. Ignore the fact that the demo is 10 minutes long. It's just so bad and it's boring. A Synapse, freaking fantastic. I mean, oh my gosh, that game, it gives Resident Evil a run for its money. It's so good. Bertrix is like a Tetris, 3D Tetris, which I was like, maybe I would like that. It's got some things going for it. It's got a little bit of jank. It's got good music. It doesn't, I don't know, something about Tetris kind of hooks you. This doesn't hook you. I don't know if it's too involved that you can't just veg out and kind of relax and
yeah, because you're having to like
mode.
move them with your hands, right? You gotta like pick them up and move them.
Yeah.
That's a bit too. Yeah, it's like too physical for your brain to like fully engage with it or something like that.
Yeah. Legendary Tale still sucks. VR Skater's good. Runner didn't have the zest that it used to have. Like, it wasn't bad, but I don't know. It didn't carry as much weight. Puzzling Places is an that's a good game. I want to play multiplayer.
I wish you had waited until I got back, and then we could have done multiple. I guess we could do it now, but we can't do it for Maydays because you already did it,
dude. Yeah, maybe, but we should try it. We should try it. MADiSON VR, I'm gonna review later in the episode. Tennis on Court is dope. Tetris sucks. There we go, Alex. I've watched you play most of your games. Can't say all of them. Any surprises? Any disappointments going back to some of these games that you've already played?
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, I'll list off the games I played here. We got Paint the Town Red VR, Big Shots, Mecha Party, Crossfire Sierra Squad, Walkabout Mini Golf, What the Bat, Humanity, System Critical 2, and Pavlov is what I just played earlier today. I mean, it's not really a surprise because I liked it. I talked about how much I liked it last time. Paint the Town Red. It feels good. It's one of those games where I just wish I had more time so I could just really play it and like go stupid with it. Really fun. Also, same kind of feeling as that Ancient Dungeons, that roguelike game, which is also crazy fun. Wish I had a lot of time to dedicate to it. The downside is both of them have those blocky graphics, but they just feel good and they play good and they're really fun to play. Big Shots. Man, this game it could be so good, it feels like. But like the enemies take too many shots to hit or something like that. And
that's a killer.
yeah, I mean it's a wave shooter, right? Like that's what you're doing. It's a wave shooter. You're in like an arena and enemies are coming at you. The enemies don't have like a ton of variety, but it's just like I feel weak. My guns kind of shoot slow. And then the boss fights are like pretty a slog just because you're just running around doing
so what
little
is
damage.
the gimmick of Big Shots? Like, what's a big shot?
Oh, you're in a mech.
Oh,
So that's it. Yeah. But like, I mean, a good example is they have like a thing. I mean, it's cool navigating the mech, right? Like you gotta like grab the controls and then move around and stuff like that. And to jump, you have to like reach between your legs and do a jump pack. But the closest thing to like a big shot is there's like a canister that fills up and you can put it in your mech and like hit the button and then it activates your superpower. The superpower is like your bullets turn blue and you can shoot like a little bit faster for like 30 seconds. But it doesn't feel, you would think it'd be like, oh, hit that, no, like the mega laser's out and I'm just wiping them all out or something. Nothing fun like that. So I don't know, underwhelming, disappointing. Mecha Party, the biggest disappointment. I don't know what happens to me. I saw like a GIF of this game or like a trailer for it, and I was like, hey, that looks like it might actually be kind of fun, like a 4-player co-op wave shooter. and it is awful. It's awful. I bought it for like 20 bucks. I was like, yeah, why not? It's so bad.
20 bucks.
It has a virtual crosshair, but that does not line up with where your shots go. Like they didn't even fine tune that. So like I'm aiming based on where the crosshair is, and then I shoot my shot and it goes like to the right of the crosshair, like way off. And the enemies don't move. It's huge disappointment. Huge disappointment. Crossfire Sierra Squad's awesome. Walkabout Mini Golf, that course you played, the Meow Wolf course,
Yeah.
that was really good. What was the course you played before that too that was really good? The gravity one?
Oh yeah, that's an OG. It was called like the Upside Down or something.
Yeah, that was really good too. That game is so good. It
I think it's so dependent on the people you play with. If you played that by yourself, I really don't think you'd have that good of a time. But
no, I agree. Yeah, I guess here's what it feels like to me. It feels like the Mario Kart of VR. Not in the sense of like it's a kart racer, in the sense of like this is kind of like a party game that you can play on your own and still have a decent amount of fun, but it's not entirely like some of the value added is the people you're playing with.
Yeah.
But if people understood that, then there'd be more. I mean, I guess the game sold really well, but I feel like there'd be more VR adoption. It's such a fun experience to just play walkabout with people. What the bat? This was a surprise. This was I had it. It was one of those games that came out at launch, Adam, that I got and never touched. It's you ever play WarioWare?
No.
Okay, it's these games just consisting of really small mini games. That's this game is. It's like a bunch of small mini games, almost like Before Your Eyes, kind of is right, where you have like a basic mini game as you're going through the story.
Like virtual reality that you just refuse to play.
I really want to play that. I love
it's incredible.
It. Yeah,
it's a great game.
You know, there's a sequel to that on the Quest.
Well, guess I'm not playing it.
Might as well not exist.
Yep.
What the bat's kind of like that. It's goofy. It's what if you had baseball bats for hands, and then you're like growing up and doing menial tasks like brush your teeth with it, and stuff like that. But then you're doing silly things like shooting bananas out of a thing by smacking it so that it hits a bell or something. It's I don't know, really fun. I mean, simple, but it's a good like intro to VR type game for people.
I think what made that fun, it looked stupid if you ask me, but what made it fun were the people in the chat. We had a great time. We're talking about all types of stuff. I don't want to get the explicit tag on iTunes, so I'm going to hold back the discussions, but let's say good thing it was a late night game because it was raunchy.
That episode was rated M for mature discussion, like finances and stuff like that. Economics.
Exactly. Stock prices, crazy.
Stock prices.
Global economy. Yeah, I mean, it's...
Yeah. Well, the chat was fun for that one. Humanity was really good because I played your level, Adam, and that was a surprisingly fun level. It wasn't like the most difficult, right? It wasn't super brain racking, but...
One, it took you a little while. Two, I helped you. And three, I put little guys as like a checkpoint for you. Yeah. Had I not, but then it would have just made the level miserable, not really difficult. So I see what you mean.
Yeah, it was good. I think for what I expect a user created level to be in these kind of things, like the average, it's certainly above average and probably in that like, B tier range of like, hey, it's pretty good. It's not as good as what the developers made, but it's a pretty good level, Adam.
The thing is, the developers, their levels didn't encompass a story. If you guys play Humanity, all of you can. It's a VR level. It's called Alex is Born. I'm very proud of it. And there's something, this game just works really well. It's a fun game. I will admit the actual game, you really bust your brain, which I don't always love doing. You got to be in the right mood. But in this level, go look up Alex is Born. It is a phallic figure. Is that how you say that? Yeah.
A phallus. It's just a phallus. That's what it is.
It's a wiener. All right. It's a wiener with
thank you. Yeah.
And you begin in the right nut. And you are one person, you are Alex, among a bunch of others, which are just other people who are kind of in your way, and there's a ton of them. Your
Other
person,
seamen.
you are a sperm, and you gotta fight through the level to get out of the wiener into the egg to be born, and that little sperm is Alex. That is the premise. You go from one nut to the other nut to the shaft of the wiener, out through the hole, and then ultimately to the goal. So I think it surprisingly took a long time to build that. I'm serious. I'm embarrassed to say. I bet it took 3 to 4 hours to make that. But Alex, here's the thing: making a level one in virtual reality like that was pretty neat. To move the level around and to drop the blocks.
Wait, so you could do that in virtual reality?
Uh, I guess no, I couldn't. I made it in flat, but the thing is, wait. I used my headset when I made it. So it was like I was in big theater mode. And then in 3D, when it's so big, it still kind of feels like it. But yeah, I had to use the DualSense. I couldn't use F you. You're such a douchebag. You know that? You're just a douchebag. What are you laughing at now?
Just, oh, you were just so talking about how much you loved how it felt in VR. You weren't playing in VR.
No, but like you do the level, but then you can play it in VR to test it. So I was going back and forth. Anyhow,
Okay.
it's like part of me wants to go back and be like, how many people have played it? Do people like it? That's something I didn't expect. Like it actually felt like I've achieved something by making a level that I was proud of. That I know it's stupid, but it had some thought behind it. It took a decent amount of time, and I think it's kind of fun, somewhat challenging. Like I may need to go back and consider that. But for everyone, go play the user levels. They're real good. Try to make a level yourself. I like it. I just don't know how many people are playing it now, right? To rack up views or plays, right?
Well, I'm just imagining little Timmy who just got his first PlayStation 5. His parents got him PlayStation Plus Premium. He logs into Humanity, doesn't want to go through the story, so he goes into the user created levels. And then just imagine this kid sitting down, I don't know, maybe he's 9 years old playing PlayStation 5 Humanity, and he's playing Alex is Born, and there's a big phallus level on the screen, and his mom walks in. That's the situation you've created.
I don't think anyone would know, right? Like if you look at the right angle, it's clearly a wiener.
I knew what it was from the get go.
Yeah, but it's because you know me, right?
I know that you, given the opportunity to build anything you want to in a level, you build a penis. First thing, get this out of the way.
So the other game I purchased and played was Super Death Game Show. This always looked intriguing to me, but it's bad. It's not good. I paid like $8 for it. It is an assortment of like minute to win it games in virtual reality, and they're not good. The controls are absolute buffoonery. It's very repetitive. Within 2 playthroughs, you are playing the same exact missions and playing the same mini games. Yeah, it's not good. Save your $8. It's not worth it. Thankfully, it was on sale. That's why I bought it. Normally, it's 15, and that's a complete ripoff.
Did you buy it before or after Townsman VR? Like before or after playing Townsman VR?
Oh, I played that after.
So if you had just not bought this game, you could have just bought Townsman VR and told yourself you had a discount. Like you wasted it anyways.
Townsman VR was like $40, bro.
Oh, okay. I mean, hey, but $8 off $40, that's a big discount.
You can just say words and morph anything into exactly what your agenda is, Alex. I mean, what type of freaking, you know what? I'm going to go have lunch with someone tomorrow. If I didn't go to lunch, I could just consider that a Townsend VR discount and buy Townsend VR. I
That's
mean,
exactly right.
you're so stupid. You are a chotch. That's what you are. So, Alex, we only have 7 days left of May Days.
Yeah.
Are there any games that are on your bucket list that you know I've got to hit this?
I think what would be perfect for Maydays would be that Project Wingman, because there's not many levels, so like that's a perfect. I could just be done with it after that, because I want to play that, and I also want to play another Fisherman's Tale because I bought that a while ago when it was on sale, and I thought I loved the first game. I don't know why I haven't been jumping.
Is
To play
that
the
going to
second
be
one.
you think that's binge worthy? You going to finish it in one sitting or you think it's too long?
If I could find 4 hours to just do nothing but play a
Oh,
game,
it's 4 hours?
I mean Fisherman's Tale was like 4 hours or something like that.
Oh, it felt like 30 minutes, but all right.
I thought maybe I'm wrong. Um, yeah, but if it's I don't know under 4 hours, I might be able to do it. Yeah, I'd be excited about it.
I would like you to play Mixture because we got a review code for it about 2 months ago. Alex, for whatever reason, loves playing these random games. He just won't do it. He won't play it. I don't know why.
I
What's your
guess I could.
problem?
I guess I could make it one of the streams. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, okay, all right.
I would
I want to play the game.
I would also like you to play freaking Resident Evil 4. You keep complaining,
No,
oh,
I don't like that
I need
game.
the right time to really jump in it. Play that as the last game of Maydays and let that propel you into finishing the game. Or take it back. You don't like Resident Evil. You don't like virtual reality. And say it in public, I refuse to play the best PSVR 2 game there is.
Um, you make a good point, Adam, because it reminded me that last May Days was what spurred me to power through and finish Resident Evil 8. And so maybe it's that time, right? It's time for me to power through and finish Resident Evil 4. I'm excited about it, but I'll play Mixture first. Maybe Resident Evil 4 should be the last Maydays game then. That way I don't have anything
Yeah,
in
I
the
mean,
way.
you screwed yourself, I guess, because yeah, you would have to play like a Mixture near the end, and then Resident Evil 4, but you probably need to play more Mixture to review it, right?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know anything about the game, but you need to navigate that. I almost played Mixture and said you lost your privileges of reviewing the game, and you're still not far from that. Are there any multiplayer games we gotta hit?
um, well, it could have been Puzzling Places, but you already took that away from me.
I yeah, I'm like we could
Yeah.
still, but uh, I mean
Um,
we haven't done Gran Turismo. We talked to Nat Brad about doing Demio. I really don't want to play
speaking of
Demio.
having 4 hours, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, oh, freaking Demio. Um,
No, I think Demio might be good. We were supposed to do Pavlov, but Adam doesn't know how to properly schedule his time, so we missed that
wasn't my
opportunity.
fault. I was waiting on you, butthole.
Waiting on me to what? I was playing.
I hate you. Um,
Adam, I got to talk about two more games on the list.
oh, what games?
System Critical 2.
Oh,
That's that game that's like Mega Man. I mean, the first time I played it, I think I talked about it a bit. I was lukewarm on it. I went into it with the mindset of like, this is a 3D version of a 2D game. I had a lot more fun. The game was a lot better. There's still like jank to it and weirdness, but I had a lot of fun. You can kind of probably tell from the stream, from the footage, if it's your kind of game, but you kind of get into it. It was nice. And then Pavlov. Adam, I forgot how good Pavlov feels. It's such a good game. It's
Pavlov
great.
or Crossfire? You change your opinion on those?
They're two different things, right? Like Crossfire, I couldn't play. I wouldn't want to play with a random person, but when I play with you, it's really really fun. And it's not just because we're playing a game. Pavlov is a game I can play with a bunch of randos because it's just team deathmatch. What was interesting though, when playing today, was it's like the user base has gotten older, so it's less of the crazy kids playing and more just like grown ups who like playing Pavlov, and they're like funny. It was it was just like a good group of people to play with for randos, better than you see on the average game. So I think the game population is pretty good for Pavlov.
Yeah, I haven't played Pavlov in a while. I may need to get back in. It's a game I constantly keep downloaded on my system. So you're right. I don't know what it is about Crossfire. It just is. I can't put my finger on it, but it's good, right?
It's a great arcade shooter, I think, is what it is. It's like the VR version of something like Time Crisis. You'd have to have some movement for it to really feel good, and they did it.
If anyone wants to request a game for Maydays, you're running out of time. If you want to play with us, you're running out of time. 7 more days, baby. 7 more days for the best month of the year.
Yeah, I'm excited. Adam, real quick before this segment's up, did you hear what Sony did?
I did, baby.
Yeah.
We were so close.
Everybody thought we were joking when we said we interviewed for the co-CEO position, and guess what? They just made a brand new co-CEO position. It could have been us, and I actually think it should have been us because we're the one that had that great idea in the first place.
I don't understand what they want. A VR-centric CEO who doesn't care about flat games or accessories or you care about handhelds, and two minds are better than one. They listen to the podcast. I don't know how you could listen to this and say, I don't want them to run my company. They're lost.
We in the interview, we played some of our best hits where we actually played a whole episode of the podcast just there in the interview room and watched them as they listened to our podcast, and they seemed like they loved it.
Yeah, hit them with a favorite soundbite right during the interview. This is what I did.
I'm a chugger.
Yeah,
Butts? My butthole's hot.
Yeah. Explain to me how we didn't get that job.
Yeah, we walked into the interview place and we talked to them and they were blown away and we were like,
Blammoo! We even said, we'll split the salary. It's not about the money. We just need the health insurance. And that didn't even do it. I mean.
No. But in the end, I think we're better. This is a better job for us. It certainly pays way more than co-CEO. And I think in the end, we'll both be saying,
I like it. So
you're right.
All right. That's it for segment 1. Adam, after the break, we're going to talk about MADiSON VR. I want to know your thoughts on it. But yeah, if you want to hear that, stick around after the break.
This is segment 2 of Play PSVR 2, the podcast. We just talked Maydays, love Maydays, 7 days to go. Part of Maydays, actually the game that kicked off Maydays, is MADiSON VR. I want to get right into it. This is a game with really people are waiting for it. And it was a little bit of a delay. Alex, I know you're not a huge horror game guy, or at least not as much as I am. But, let's talk about it. Let's see, maybe this is a game you could still get in. Are you ready to hear about MADiSON VR?
You know I'm ready. Here comes the sound.
That's it. I'm the judge, the honorable judge, Adam. I do want you to rise. I am going to rain blows upon you, MADiSON VR, as I sit and I judge your ability to fulfill the listeners. They need filled. They need filled for you. And is this a palatable, worthy PSVR title for their money, their time, their attention, their wallet? Is it suitable for their soul? There's only one way to find out. First, on the 4 counts of I'd rather play MADiSON VR than look at Alex's auntie's face first thing in the morning, I want to analyze the fear factor of this game. Now, I won't assess, nor do I really understand how this can be a scientifically scariest game in the world. I don't know what that means, and I won't, again, try to assess that. But what I will say is this game is chock full of noises, weird occurrences, creepy moments, unsettling areas. It provides a good mix of scare tactics in general. Some rooms are scary and really dark. They provide just enough light so you can move around, but you can't see what's surrounding you. You don't know what's coming. You have no foresight of what is next. That is unsettling, is pretty scary. Other times the lights just cut out, the thunder rumbles, objects appear and disappear, and all of this culminates into making you kind of feel helpless because you can't understand your surroundings and you never really know what's going on. And the game does do a decent job mixing up environments, going from a spooky house to a ravaged basement to waist-high sewer water. But either I have balls of steel or the game's just not that scary. I don't think I jumped a single time playing the entire game. I will admit it is harder to scare someone when they are on edge and they're kind of prepared to be scared, but I just simply didn't find it frightful or scary at all. I can't put my finger on what's missing, but there's something that isn't there. I'm wondering if it's almost the combat. When there isn't a risk of you actually dying, that worry, that stress, that visceral response is missing, right? And so for a game that is lauded as the scientifically scariest game in existence, I was quite disappointed. I was more scared after what I saw when I rolled over last Saturday morning and saw Alex's auntie's face without makeup. And because of that, on the count of I'd rather play MADiSON VR than look at Alex's auntie's face first thing in the morning, I find you, MADiSON VR, guilty. So, Alex, any cross-exam? You have any questions about the horror aspect of this game?
Considering that my internet died and I just missed that entire section of the review, I don't have too much. You say it's not scary. I find that, I don't know if that's you being tough guy or not. Like, what's a really scary game for you?
Here's the thing. I think parts of Resident Evil 4 were very scary. I jumped. I felt like I had a visceral response where I was like, dude, I don't want to go in there. Or I was rattled, right? I never felt rattled, even remotely close to being rattled in this game. In Afterlife VR, there were some moments where granted, they were kind of jump scares, but they got me. This game never got me. So that's what I mean. I never felt rattled. I never felt a physical response. I never had a jump scare. That's what I mean.
Oh, so I see here, he says there's no risk of dying. So there's no way you can die?
No, it's it's a puzzle game.
Oh, that changes so much about the game. I thought this would at least be like Amnesia or something like that, where you can't fight, but there's things coming at you. But if it's just like spooky, if there's nobody that's gonna kill you, then that's not scary. Oh, okay. Ooh, weird.
Yeah. It something else, good and bad, right? From that point of view. But do you have any other questions before we move on?
Nope, that's it. I'm ready to hear the next point.
All right. Next, on the single count of, dang, those puzzles are so hard, I'm going to give it a piece of my mind. Let's dive into the critical thinking aspect and puzzles of the game. In reality, if you know everything that you're doing in the game, the entire playthrough only takes about 2 hours. However, not only will you not know exactly what to do, you won't know what to do at all the first time you played, if you're like me. And to give you an idea, I looked up an entire walkthrough on YouTube. Obviously, someone who already had played the game and knew what they were doing. It took 2 hours and 17 minutes for a full walkthrough. It took me, I kind of timed it and paid attention. It took me 3.5 hours to get through the first 15 minutes of that walkthrough. Now, this could be great or it could be not great. On one hand, dang it, you're going to get your money's worth. There's a lot of game here. Is it always the best game? Is it always the experience you want? Maybe not, because a lot of it is trying to figure out what the puzzles are, what are you supposed to do, what's happening, but you do get a lot of game. On the other hand, if you're like me, it can get quite annoying. Moving forward in the game is so slow and cumbersome. It feels like every step in every puzzle is a chore because you are constantly clueless on what you're supposed to do. Several times I was absolutely lost and I just walked around and eventually something just magically happened. It made no sense whatsoever. It almost was like the game sensed that like you haven't done anything or accomplished anything in 20 minutes. So we're just going to like open up the next area or something. I don't think that happened, but I don't know what I did to spur the next event. That, to me, that's not a good thing. So the difficulty of the puzzles and the constant feeling of being lost, it can be good or bad depending on the person. And because of that, on the count of, dang, those puzzles are so hard, I'm going to have to give it a piece of my mind, I find you hung. It's a hung jury on that count. Alex, thoughts?
Man, the more you describe this, it feels, I don't know, it's, on one hand, it's like it surprises me that this is what the game actually is. On the other hand, it's like, I don't know what I expected, because you never see a gun in any of the trailers or anything like that. And when you said it was, you know, when it supposedly it's only 2 hours long, that reminded me of how long Happy Funland was. And that game actually, Happy Funland, for all its faults, had some legitimately scary moments and legitimately frightening moments. And I'm wondering, is Happy Funland better than this maybe in terms of actual like horror game? Since in this game there's no way you can die? I'm still blown away by that. That surprised the hell out of me. But we can move on to the next point.
Okay, finally, let's discuss the 3 counts of forever clever endeavor for whoever plays, however. I want to discuss the clever tactics that this game does employ to spice it up and actually make it stand out among the other horror games, like Happy Funland. So first, the plot is actually pretty decent for a horror game, and it's pretty involved. It's more mind-evoking than Resident Evil, for sure. It actually carries some sense to it, and it's not this typical canned story of a scary game. Now, it has aspects of the canned plot of a horror game, but it's more involved in that. So that obviously is pretty cool. I like that. The puzzles are also a distinction. I've never played a game with the difficulty of these type of puzzles. A good game. We're not talking about 18 floors where it's impossible here. We're talking about real legit games with difficult puzzles where the majority of the time I was like, what the F am I supposed to do? I don't know. I'm not going to harp on this stuff. I've already mentioned it. If you like escape rooms and you like horror games, you're probably going to like this because it's very much, in my mind, what you're kind of getting when you're playing MADiSON VR. Next, the quote-unquote gimmick used in this game is that you have a camera, and when you take a picture, and mind you, the camera is like the old Kodak cameras back in the day. where it shot out like a photo and you had to wave it with your hands and it develops via the air. So you can take your camera and you can shoot things like a wall and see things on that developed film that you can't see as a character in real life. So that could be numbers or a code on a wall. It could be different photographs like on the wall that may depict something. It could be maybe there is just a staircase there and it looks normal, but then you take a photo and that unleashes a clue or something. That little gimmick is really cool. I find it pretty engaging and interactive, and it makes a layer to the puzzle because you're not just walking around trying to find keys and crap. You got to use the camera at the right time in the right places to gather info to help progress. I think that is pretty clever, and I enjoy that. It makes it separate from Afterlife VR or from Switchback VR or from some of the other horror games that are on the market. So because of that, on the counts of forever clever endeavor for whoever plays, however, I do find MADiSON VR guilty. How's that tickle your fancy, Alex?
Yeah, now you're bringing it back around to that whole camera gimmick thing. It sounds like it'd be pretty fun in VR. You know, that's the interesting thing about VR is sometimes it's just like if one mechanic works really well in VR, you want to play the VR game for that one mechanic. I'm trying to think like the shooting in Crossfire Sierra Squad works really well, so much so to where you want to play more of that game, even though like the level design is not great. So now I'm thinking, well, shoot, maybe I shouldn't be walking into this expecting Resident Evil. I should be walking into this expecting just kind of a spooky but like good story with cool little puzzle. I feel bad for being mad at it now. Now I'm kind of interested.
I mean, that's the thing. It's almost like a Jekyll and Hyde game. Like, it really depends on what do you want, what do you enjoy, and that's really going to dictate on whether this is worth it and how much you're going to enjoy the game. So, I guess moving on to our final decision right here. So, how does MADiSON VR rank in terms of being a worthwhile PSVR game that's worthy of the price, the time, the attention, and potentially a new pair of underpants? MADiSON VR, I do find you. It's got to be a hung jury. Alex, it is hung. It probably is no surprise based on the points I bring up. It's very close to being guilty, being a you should buy and play this for everybody. But the cumbersome problem solving, the slow reveal of the plot, and the fact that it's not scary really hurts it. And that's why I got to put it at hung and not guilty. You have any concerns with my final verdict?
This is interesting. Do you think, had they not advertised it as the scariest, scientifically scariest VR game, and instead just kind of let it speak for itself as like a spooky puzzle game, do you think your estimation of it would be different? Like your thought? Because I mean, if you walk in and expect something really scary and it's not actually really scary, that's bringing you down. But if you didn't expect that to be a core element of the game, then you're not being brought down by anything.
Yeah, it may have helped a little. I didn't put too much weight in that, to be honest. I still think it would be a hung jury. That's not going to be enough to make it guilty. So I didn't really punish it for that. I will say for individuals, it could be very aggravating. If that's what you expected and this is what you got, I think there is a potential for someone to be very upset. I wasn't in that camp. Mind you, also, thank you, Perp Games and developers. We got a review code, so I didn't pay for this. That, I think, may also help. Had I spent, $20 and I expected a really scary game that's high up on the list and really made me jump and gave me the jitters, and I didn't, I would be bummed. But that's where I'm saying if you want more of a creepy atmosphere but not scary, you really like the escape room and the problem solving type stuff, I think you would still like this. And I think it is a guilty verdict for you, but that's why it's hung. It really is dependent.
Man, it's tough. Although I think towards the end you brought me back around closer than I was before I heard the review. So like, it had a definite positive effect on me wanting to get that game. Where are we going to put it on the list, Adam?
See, and this is also tough because I wanted the scary. I wanted the visceral response. I found the lack of assistance in problem solving and the puzzles to be extremely aggravating. There were multiple times where I wasted 20 minutes wandering around like, what do I do? And there's no hint. There's no clue. You can look it up on YouTube. I try not to do that because it feels like cheating. I hated that, if I'm being honest. And that is severely going to punish this game and drop it fairly down the list. Again, that for you, Alex, it may be much higher because you're like, I like that aspect. But for me, that is a major problem. I am putting it, I'm going to say it's not as good as Humanity. So we're looking at number 20 or below. Vertigo 2 wasn't great. It's really around the Vertigo 2 level. I could go either way, whether it goes above it or below it. They're like side by side. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll say above Vertigo 2.
You know, looking at Vertigo 2 and seeing what's beneath it, Red Matter 2, makes me think, oh, then it's like Red Matter, which it sounds like then your estimation of it matches my feelings of Red Matter. Was like, it's not bad and there's some cool mechanics, but it's really puzzle solving and it kind of seems like it's going to be scary or something, but it's not. I don't know. I mean, but that being said, I really liked Red Matter too. Like it was a game that I enjoyed going all the way through. So
the thing is, like, if Red Matter 2 is like Red Matter, similar-ish, the puzzles weren't annoying, and you at least had a clue on what you were doing.
yeah,
In MADiSON VR, you have no idea. I mean, at least I didn't.
okay.
Clueless most of the time. And like I hate that. It's a fine line to make it challenging and mind-evoking, but not be frustrating. And that, again, differs for different people. You may do it, and you may be like, dude, yeah, obviously I was supposed to go to the basement first and then go to the second floor locked door on the third door to the right, and then I had to backtrack, and then I had to go to, like, maybe for you it would have been more obvious. For me, it was not. And I have to admit, I did have to cheat a couple times because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. It doesn't make any sense. It had a cool ending. It had, like I said, the plot. There's some things going for it, but
Yeah.
that's where we're at.
Yeah. Well, not a bad spot to be in. I mean, that's not bad company. MADiSON VR, Vertigo 2.
I think the majority of people are going to be bummed and they're not going to like my assessment of it, but, they can suck it.
It really sounds like they shot themselves in the foot positioning it as like this horror game, horror survival, rather than like escape room with black paint.
Yeah.
But I mean, me knowing that, now I'm a bit more optimistic about playing the game. I'll be honest. If it's the scariest VR game, it's too scary for me. So
yeah, you're a woman.
Play it. Yeah.
Are there any games that we're not doing official reviews for, but you would like to, like, for example, Super Death Game Show? I've played it. I beat the game, sadly. I can put it on the list. I think I'm going to put it on the list. And you think to yourself, is there a smaller game that you could maybe put on here? Super Death Game Show's pretty low.
Pretty low.
Pretty low. Oh gosh. I'm a little surprised I put Bad Dreams VR above Cosmo Dread.
Yeah, I think I'm surprised at that too. And Dead Hook.
Dead Hook is Dead Hook is should be down there. Cosmo Dread is not a good game, but looking back, it might be better than Bad Dreams. But anyhow, that's where this Death Game Super I can't even say Super Death Game Show should go. It's worse than Cosmo Dread, so it needs to go. Gosh, Dead Hook sucked too, but there was more game to it. I'm gonna put it below Dead Hook and above Epic Roller Coasters.
Have you bought the other carts for Epic Roller Coaster?
I have not because I just can't imagine it being worth even the $3, right? So I haven't done it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh yeah, Super Death. I don't know why you thought to buy that. I'm glad you did because it satisfied my curiosity. Like, what if this game is good? But
yeah, it was it wasn't. I wanted to buy a new game and I knew I needed to save money for Townsman VR, so I was like, let me just buy one of these cheap games. That was the one that seemed the most intriguing and cheap. So that's how I did it.
okay. Well,
Do
Adam,
you Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, speaking of buying games, let's go through some sales and see if you're gonna buy any of these games.
Do you want to add any games to the list? Do you think you've played any of those smaller games that you could
I haven't played enough of any of them, I think, to put it on the list.
Okay.
Maybe Big Shots. I almost beat Big Shots last time I played it. It's pretty short.
I think some of the games too, like you played enough Big Shots that there's not going to be like at the end a big reveal, right, or something. So
yeah, I mean, it could be that like I level up and it's like, oh, this is like double the game now. Now there's more enemies and stuff. It doesn't seem like that's gonna happen though.
yeah, well, up to you. If you don't want to list it, certainly don't. And at some point, you can come back and add.
If we go through the sales, then maybe it'll jog my memory and I'll think of one.
Let's go.
All right, let's do this, Adam. Prison Boss VR for $7.99.
This is the other game I almost bought rather than Super Death Game Show VR.
This one actually I think is supposed to be good.
Looking back, I should have bought Prison Boss. Yeah.
Prison Boss Haas VR, yeah.
But you never know. $7 is about as affordable as you're going to get a VR game nowadays. Put it in your back pocket. It's a hung jury.
Yeah, I could see myself like if I know that I'm gonna play it like one night only, probably never come back to it. $7 isn't that bad of a deal if it's kind of a fun game. Yeah, interesting. Adam, how about Thumper for $7.99?
If you haven't played Thumper, yes, absolutely. If you already have or you played on PSVR 1, I don't think there's enough to warrant $8. Save it for Townsman VR.
How about Car Mechanic Simulator VR for $10.39?
I saw this and that's laughable. What a stupid idea for a game. Save that money, buy Townsman VR.
What if it taught you how to actually repair your car?
Yeah, just like Surgeon Simulator taught me how to open up someone's chest and save their heart.
You haven't killed anyone yet?
How do you know?
Because you haven't done any surgeries yet. Adam, Super Death Game Show VR for $5.70.
Oh, good news. I only spent like $6 on it. Awesome. $6 I should have spent on Townsman VR. What?
Are you calling back to my my logic? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm going to do. Like, should you buy Townsman VR, which is now my new go-to, or these crappy games that are on sale that no one wants to play?
How about Alvo for $9.99?
Isn't this a free? I thought this was a free upgrade from PSVR 1.
I think it either is or it was a timed free upgrade. Either way, imagine if you hadn't played it. It's tough, right? It's going up against Pavlov, which is great. I think this is a bit more arcadey, and it probably doesn't look as good as Pavlov. But I think there's
yeah, I mean, not that you couldn't have a good time, but it just doesn't. Other games are better. Like, I don't know why you would want to play this over Pavlov.
What's really unfortunate is that this was great with the aim controller, right? This was like the game. If you didn't want to try to play Firewall, this is the game with the aim controller to do multiplayer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So no.
Though, yeah, I'd put that money towards Pavlov. Yeah. Tentacular for $12.49.
I'm just sick of the games like Tentacular, little cutie games, Galaxy, Bartender VR, Job Simulator, and like.
So Tentacular is very much like what you say you like about Townsman VR, like miniatures, things like that. And when you were describing Townsman VR, I was thinking he might actually like Tentacular then, with the kind of stuff that you can do in it.
I think I'd rather save $12 for Townsman VR.
I think that's a good price for Tentacular, but this is Adam's sales segment, so I can't say too much. Adam, how about Dyschronia Part 2 for $9.99?
Sweet, another $10 to put towards Townsman VR.
How about Dyschronia Part 1 for $10?
Holy crap, another $10 to go toward Townsman VR. Let's go!
How about Hubris for $14.99?
If you're really desperate, I think that's doable. I just don't see it being that great. It was pretty boring, pretty shallow gameplay. I mean, it worked. I wouldn't spend $15 on it.
This reminds me, this is the game I want to play for Maydays. Not Hubris. Somebody posted on Reddit, what's better, Vertigo 2, Hubris, or this other game called Genotype, which people say is kind of like a first-person Metroid in VR. Everybody was like, oh, Genotype is way better than those two, which I thought was odd because Vertigo 2 had a lot of hype around it, but now it seems like people think it's about as good as Hubris.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Vertigo 2 is not good, so I don't know who said where the hype came from, but they're morons. How much is Genotype?
We might get to it. I don't remember. I think I got it for $26 or something like that.
Oh, you already bought it. Okay.
Yeah, I already bought Genotype. Yeah, I'm going to be playing it for Maydays. But okay, Adam, moving on. Dyschronia Episode 3 for $9.99.
Quit giving me these. I'm going to have Townsman VR in the bag simply from foregoing on all the Dyschronia episodes. Holy crap.
I'll be honest. I forgot that there was a third episode. Now that I know there's a third episode, it kind of makes me want to play through these. I played the first one, right? Why not go through the other two just to see how the story ends? So the fact that I know it goes on that long makes me think, oh, maybe there's a really interesting story that develops. Or it could just be like most anime and just not.
Yeah.
Adam, how about Not for Broadcast VR for $12.49?
This was the other game I also really considered. I love the idea of it. I just don't know how it's executed, and I was too cheap to risk $15 on it. I need to do more research. This might be a game I need to look up a stream, see what it's like. If it's like a Night Trap for crap, what was that? Yeah, then I mean, I would maybe be down, right? But I don't know if it's like that. I got to do research.
What about Tiger Blade for $12.49?
Saw this? No. Looks stupid. Not interested. Save your money. Townsman VR.
Well, I bought it. How about Seeker My Shadow for $14.99?
I don't mind the game. It's just that's expensive for that game, though. I mean, you really gotta get it.
It's half off, and you're still saying,
dude, I'm sorry. You gotta get it $10 or less.
Yeah, $10.
It's too limited, and yeah.
How about VR Skater for $17.49?
Yes. Game is solid. You're gonna sweat your nutter butters off. It's challenging, but I think pretty fulfilling. You're gonna get your money's worth, and it's also one of those games you can quickly go back, play 30 minutes of, feel fulfilled, and be glad that you played it.
How about Kill It With Fire VR for $7.49?
No.
It's a game where you're like smashing up a house to kill spiders.
Yeah, it sounds stupid. Go outside, you can smash all the spiders you want.
Is that what you did as a kid, Adam? You just walked around outside smashing spiders?
You know it.
How about VR Pigeons for $2.99?
The thing is, yeah, you liked it. You looked like a moron. People are gonna laugh. And that's
Yeah,
minuscule money. $3? Do it.
this is gonna sound bad, but I mean it in the best possible way. You get what you pay for, right? Like, I don't.
That does
think-
sound bad.
It does sound bad, but I'm gonna say like you pay $2.99. You're not gonna finish that and be like, well, that's $3 wasted. You'll be thinking like that makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is like that's a lot more than you can say for most games.
That's a game I want you to stream.
Oh god, it'll hurt so bad to bob my head like that. It's so tiring.
Well, is that different than any other Friday, Saturday night?
That's on my back, Adam. Last Clockwinder for $14.99.
No. You played this, looks stupid.
Oh, I loved it. Cave Digger 2, Dig Harder for $14.99.
Yeah, I'm gonna dig harder in Townsman VR because I skipped this game.
How about Paper Beast Enhanced Edition, the game that guy's Will says is one of the most artistic VR games ever, for $14.99.
You know what? If I wanted art, I would play Van Gogh, My Nutsack, Get Out of Here, and Save Your Money. I'm not interested in artistic games. Well, get out of here. You're not even in the space anymore. No.
What about Cave Digger VR for $5.99?
Ooh, wow. That is going to be a hard pass.
What's interesting is I think Cave Digger 2 doesn't have a platinum trophy, but Cave Digger 1 does.
Oh, in that case, then still no.
How about Red Matter 2 for $17.99?
Too expensive.
How about What the Bat for $14.99?
Talk to me when it's $10.
How about I talk to you about the Foglands, which is $20.99?
It's supposed to be pretty good, right?
No, people hated it, but I think after some patches, it's a bit better.
Oh,
It's
okay, then
streaming
never
for
mind.
Maydays.
I'm
It's
thinking
streaming
of
for
something
Maydays.
else then. Okay.
How about Forest Farm, which is the first time hearing of this game, for $9.74?
I looked at this. Interesting, but no. I obviously didn't do it.
How about Barbaria for $12.99? Adam, that's a game with a demo.
Yeah, it is, but if you look at it, it looks like a slightly enhanced version of Gorn. Now, it didn't look very good.
I've heard only good things about it. Only good things about it. How about Dead Hook for $12.99?
Because you're on the Reddit that's only good PSVR 2.
I'm on the Barbaria subreddit, yeah.
Dead Hook, they deserve to pay you to play the game.
How about Hotel R&R for $14.61?
I'm not gonna eat that roofies in that hotel. Get out of here.
All right. What about Vetrix World for $9.74?
No. Oh, wait. What? What price?
$9.74.
Ah, yeah. That's tough. If you really like Tetris, it might be worth that. Otherwise, it's a skip.
How about Job Simulator for $12.99?
Get off the store. How many more of these do you want to sell? Oh my gosh.
How about Last Labyrinth for $20.99?
No.
Paint the Town Red VR for $13.99.
You would say yes. I'm still not totally bought in.
Toy Trains VR with the Infinite Loop update for $13.99. This is your girlfriend's game.
I know she's so hot. No.
Walkabout Mini Golf for $10.49. Wow.
That's a must buy.
I
Must.
didn't know this game was that cheap. It's normally just $14.99. That's
Yeah,
wild.
ridiculous.
Tale of Onigoro for $24.49.
No, too expensive.
Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted for $20.99.
Hey, for that price, how about I would need not even for one night?
Happy Funland for $17.49.
Too expensive.
Genotype for $19.24.
Now I'm gonna have to look into it. That wasn't on my radar. Maybe it should be.
This is I think this might have been the game that got launched and they didn't have the day one patch. It got launched like 2 weeks early, and then they emailed everybody. It's like, no, don't buy our game. Don't get our game yet, or don't play it yet. But it kind of lost buzz because of that. But everybody says it's good. Organ Quarter for $17.49.
No.
The Murder of Sherlock Holmes for $13.99. I don't think that's really VR.
I was interested, but this is a pixel game that looks like trash.
How about Mecha Party for $19.99?
No.
Crisis Brigade 2 for $11.24.
I'm gonna skip.
Afterlife VR for $11.24.
Good price. Yeah, I would do that if you like horror games.
Legendary Tales for $41.24.
Huh. Yeah, right.
That's a pretty big discount because the game's so expensive. Breachers for $22.49.
No.
Oh, it looks good though. $14.99 for Borderbots VR.
Sounds stupid. No.
$14.99 for Ancient Dungeon VR. We gotta go fast.
No.
Walkabout Mini Golf Ice Layer $3.19.
Yes.
Among Us VR. Oh no, that's just DLC.
No.
Masternoid for $11.99.
No.
Project Wingman for $23.99.
No.
Towers and Powers for $13.59.
No.
Train Chase for $5.59.
No.
Survivor Man VR: The Descent for $15.99.
Absolutely not.
Drunken Bar Fight for $16.99.
Too expensive.
Actually, we're past the sales. That's the last one. It's not a sale. Adam, you should get the Ghost Signal Stellaris game demo. That's a demo that you can play. But other than that, Adam, you got any last words for us? We're going to close this thing out.
May days. We will see you there.
And you can see us anytime after the fact. Adam, thank you so much for having this podcast today. Thank you for not playing Pavlov so I can play with some good Pavlov players. And thank you, listeners, for listening to us ramble on about PSVR 2. Check us out every night this month. Maydays are our Play PSVR channel. And if you like what you see, come and like and subscribe on YouTube and give us 5 stars on iTunes so we can make big money. We love you all. We'll see you next time.
Blammo!